Hi there, everyone. This is the Health Insurance Diva. So, today I'm here to cover out of pocket expenses, what you need to look for when you're buying into a premium or when you're picking a plan to get health insurance. Ever since health insurance became mandatory, people were not really educated about what their responsibilities are. What am I paying for? People are, more scared now because, you know, how like getting sick is inevitable. Um, as far as can you afford it is a different story. Um, so this is just to give you an overview of what kind of out-of-pocket expenses you should anticipate when you looking for a health insurance plan or trying to switch coverage through an employer. They probably send you bunches of paper, like a stack of paperwork to look through, but you may not really understand what it means. So I'm just here to just kind of break down, not necessarily recommend a specific health insurance company or specifically what kind of plan you should be looking for, but I'm just basically here to give you more information about what you're essentially going to be responsible for. You're making these monthly payments, you're paying these premiums on time. They cost you from $100 to $500, whatever you're paying, whether it's through the marketplace or through your employer. You're coming out of pocket for a certain amount of money every month to cover you and your family for these medical expenses. It's just kind of like carrying an umbrella around and you never know if it's going to rain. You need one. Um, and um, and I think health insurance is definitely needed because health care has become very expensive over the years. So I'm going to explain three things: co-pays, co-insurance, and deductible. So the first one is the copay, which is essentially a set amount that your contract states this is what you should pay before or after a service. This is what you will be billed. You may go to your primary care physician, you may go to a specialist, you may go to an emergency room visit or an urgent care. This is a set amount. Every time you go use this service, this is what you have to pay every single time. Two is the coinsurance. Now, coinsurance differs with every plan that you buy into. Most insurances will follow what Medicare does, which is Medicare pays 80% of your contract amount with that facility, and you're responsible for 20% of that amount. So it's an 80-20 plan, and most of insurances will follow that rule. And it's important to know that because 20% of $125,000 is essentially a lot. So it may look like, okay, 20% is not bad of 80% of the bill. Granted, you're not paying 100% of that balance, but 20% of something can be a lot if you do get, extremely sick and you're needing those services for medical attention. Some insurances will do 90-10, 75-15. Every premium is different. So look into that. Three is deductible. Now, what's easier to compare to is auto insurance. You have to meet your deductible before your insurance can start to pay. So essentially, health insurance is the same. You have to pay that deductible. You have to meet it. Whether your insurance runs from January to December, or for some, basically some federal insurances, fiscal year I believe is October. So from October to October, you have to meet that deductible, whether it's 300 or 3,000. It has to be met within that period or a short amount of time before they will start paying more towards your bills. So some insurances, once you meet your deductible, your copays go away. Sometimes, so you've given essentially 12 months to meet your deductible. So in the beginning of the year, usually from January through May, if you have the regular commercial insurances that run from January to December, you will have a higher out of pocket. Now, a lot of people may not notice this, but this, if you have more than just yourself on that health plan, you may not notice because you'll pay your copay and then they bill you for deductible and you pay that bill. You don't question it, you don't think about it. You just pay the bill. It comes, okay, my copay is $30 and they add a deductible of another $20 and they just apply it. So every time you go to your visit, they're going to apply a certain portion towards your deductible. But in the beginning of the year, they apply a higher deductible. So it makes it easier for you to reach it. So by the time comes December and you haven't met your deductible, that's okay, but the insurance gets they don't pay as much onto the claim or onto the bill, so you're essentially paying more. So I'm not saying get sick more because that's not the way to cheat the system, but that's what it means. The less you're sick, the higher out of pocket. The more you're sick, the less that you eventually over the 12-month span you would have to pay. And three, well, that was the deductible, of course. So those are the three out-of-pocket expenses. So anytime you look on your plan or on your premium, it will let you know these are your out-of-pocket expenses. And that's what you need to really look into. Because like I said, 20% of a bill may seem reasonable, but it's still a lot of money. And deductible, depending on your deductible on that year, it doesn't mean that because your deductible is low, you're going to get the best coverage with your insurance. It depends on the plan that you pick. The lower the deductible, probably the higher the premium, or not so good coverage you may have through your plan. So it's stuff that you need to look into. So you guys stay tuned, and I will bring in more videos. I will post another video next week. Subscribe, like, recommend, and I will definitely look into it. I do work in the insurance world, so it'll be easier for me to get some information and bring it back to you guys. So just stay tuned and subscribe.